Today we're going to be using the Skinfold measurements. This is a great way to take body fat percentages. In the Skinfold measurements, there are 7 sites where you do measure on the body. One measurement will be taken on the tricep, subscapular, the chest, mid-auxiliary, suprailiac, abdominals, and the thigh. When we do perform these measurements, we want to take a trial of 3 trials for each measurement. So each section of the body will be measured at least 3 times to get the average after. While performing the 7 Skinfold measurements, we want to make sure that all measurements are taken on the client's right side of the body. For the first site, we're going to go ahead and be measuring the tricep. So you want to get your caliper on your right hand. You want to make sure your placement of the caliper is 1 centimeter away from your first finger on the measurements. So we're going to go ahead and get our left hand. We're going to go ahead and squeeze a little bit of the skin right here. Make sure you just get a little bit in there, making sure you're not touching the bone. When we do take the measurements, make sure your calipers are 1 centimeter away from your fingers. Now we have 19. The next site is going to be the scapular. Out of the 7 sites, there are going to be 3 you're going to take measures diagonal instead of vertical. The scapular is going to be the first one. So like the first step, we're going to go ahead and squeeze a little bit of the skin. Go ahead and get your calipers. You want to place the measurements and hold it for about 2 seconds for the measurement. And for here, we would get about 21 millimeters. The next side is going to be the chest. So when you do take the chest measurements, you want to make sure you get in between the shoulder and the nipple of the client. For females, you might have to move the sports bra a little bit, but it's going to be the same procedure. So we'll go ahead and do the same procedures. Grab a little bit of the skin, place your calipers, hold it about for 2 seconds, and release your calipers. The next site we're going to be measuring is the mid-auxiliary, and this is also another vertical one. So go ahead and pinch the skin again. You place your calipers for 2 seconds and release. For the next 2 sites, we're going to be doing the suprailiac, which is also the next diagonal site. So go ahead and same procedures, pinch the skin, place your calipers, 2 seconds, which is about the 28. Then you can move on to the abdominals. This one's going to be the next vertical one. So go ahead and pinch the area, place your calipers, and release, which is about 31 millimeters. For the last side of the 7 Skinfold measurements is going to be the thigh. So for this one, it's the same procedures as always. Just go ahead and pinch it in. Take the measurement and release. And that was about 31 millimeters.
Now that all of our measurements have been collected and the mean or average have been collected, now we can go ahead and calculate our body density. There are formulas for men and women which will go ahead and be explained, but right now for the men, your formula will be the body density equals 1.112 minus 0.000, that's with 3 zeros, 43499, times the sum of your 7 skin folds, plus 0.000000, that's with 6 zeros, 55, times the sum of 7 skin folds squared, minus 0.000, that's with 3 zeros, 28826, times the age of the client. And this will give you the body density of men. Okay, so right now we just discussed the 7-site formula for body density for the men. Now we can go ahead and talk about the body density formula for the women. Now both formulas are very different in numbers, so make sure you do pay attention and make sure you're using the correct formula when using men or female. For the women, the body density formula is body density equals 1.097 minus 0.000 with 3 zeros, 46971, times the sum of 7 skin folds plus 0.000000, again that's with 6 zeros, 56, times the sum of 7 skin folds squared, minus 0.000 with 3 zeros, 12828, times the age. And this will also give you the body density for women. So when we do calculate our body densities, we always want to make sure that we are using our correct formulas for the men and for the women. Now that we have determined body density, now we can go ahead and use our Brozell and Siri formula to determine percentage of body fat. On the top formula that you see in the picture, that is our Brozell formula. which is the percentage of fat, equals 457 divided by the body density minus 414.2. And the formula at the bottom of the picture is our series formula, which is percentage of fat equals 495 divided by body density minus 450. Each method assumes a slightly different density of fat mass, but are two very accurate formulas and measurements to determine the percentage of body fat, either on a men or women client.